Class 6th. Subject English. Topic The Silver House. Now students, have a look at this picture. So this picture is of phases of the moon. So now let us understand how the phases of the moon occur. So firstly, the moon keeps changing its shape with 4 distinct moon phases that depends on the position of the moon and also on the position of the earth. So students, when you look up in the sky at night, you can see different shapes of the moon. If the moon is full moon, then after few days you can notice that it has changed its shape and has occurred an half moon. However, there are 4 main moon phases and we also call them the lunar phases. 4 phases are full moon, half moon, crescent moon and new moon, that is no moon. And the phases of the moon we see depends upon what amount of the moon's surface is lit by the sun. The moon doesn't emit, that is give off, light itself. The moonlight we see is actually the sun's light reflected off the lunar surface. So as the moon orbits the earth, the sun lights up different parts of it, making it seem as if the moon is changing shape. So similar to this, we are going to learn a poem, The Silver House by John Lee. So students, this is a picture of John Lee. His full name was John Stratford Lee Wilson, the son of missionaries. Was born in Belgian Congo on August 12, 1923. The Silver House. There is a silver house in the lovely sky, as round as a silver crown. It takes 2 weeks to build it up and 2 to pull it down. There is a man who lives in the silver house in a lonely sort of way, but what his name is no one knows or no one likes to say. Yet when you go to bed tonight, just draw the window blind and peep out at the silver moon, this lonely man to find. But if his house is taken down and all the sky is bare, then go to bed because of course the poor man won't be there. By John Lee. There is a silver house in the lovely sky, as round as a silver crown. Crown means a silver coin that was used in England in the past. It takes 2 weeks to build it up and 2 to pull it down. So students, the poet describes the moon as the silver house in the beautiful sky and says, the moon is as round as a silver crown. And as the phases of the moon change, it takes 2 weeks to build it up, that is from the new moon to the full moon, and 2 to pull it down. That is from the full moon to the new moon, where there is no moon at all, when the sky is clear and we don't see a moon in the sky. There is a man who lives in the silver house in a lonely sort of way, but what his name is no one knows or no one likes to say. So students, the poet has picturized that a man has been living on the moon and he has been living there all alone and he is lonely. So what his name is no one knows or no one even likes to say. Yet when you go to bed tonight, just draw the windows blind. Windows blind means a protective covering for the window. A window blind keeps out light. And peep out at the silver moon, this lonely man to find. So students, the poet asks us to just open the window shade, that is to open our windows when you go to bed at night, and look at the silver moon and search for this lonely man to find. But if his house is taken down means pulled down, and all the sky is bare, then go to bed, because of course the poor man won't be there. So students, if his house has been taken down and the sky is bare, which means uncovered, that is, if it is a moonless night. So on the new moon day, there is no moon in the sky, so the sky is bare. And then the poet tells you to go to sleep, for then, as the poor man won't be there, because the moon is said to be the man who lives in the silver house. So if there is no moon in the sky, then the man won't be there. Let us take a quick recap and see the summary of the poem. The poet John Lee describes the moon as a silver house in the beautiful sky. It takes 2 weeks to build it and 2 weeks to pull it down. The poet says that there is a man who lives in the silver house and he looks lonely. The poet asks you to draw the window blind to peep out at the silver moon to find this lonely man at night. Finally, the poet tells you that if the sky is bare, then you should go to sleep, as the lonely man is no longer there. So students, this is the summary of the poem which we learned. So the poet tells us that there is a house which is silver in color and as round as a silver coin. So the poet has compared the silver house to a moon which shines bright and is silver in color and is round in shape. We know that the moon keeps changing its shape So it takes 2 weeks, that is 14 days, for a moon to arrive, and similarly it takes 2 weeks for the silver house to build up, and then again it gets destroyed, which means we see that the moon changes its shape. It's fully round and circle in shape, and the next day it again starts reducing. So to build it up, that is, the moon grows bigger, and to pull it down, that means the moon keeps decreasing in size. So this is how the house is built up. The poet imagines that there is also a man and nobody knows about it, and he lives all alone, so he is in a lonely sort of way. He also says that if you want to find that lonely man, then just look out of the window when you go to bed and you might see the man. And if his house is taken down, that is, if there is no moon in the sky, then you won't be able to find the lonely man. Now there is no moon in the sky, so there is no light in the sky. So therefore, the sky is dark and bare. So go to bed, because you won't be finding the man, as he lives in the moon and the moon is not there. So the man also won't be there. Find 4 pairs of rhyming words from the poem. So children, you have to find out 4 rhyming words which rhyme with each other, and for that you can refer your textbook. Answer the following questions. The first one is, who lives in the silver house? So students, in the lovely sky there is a silver house, and who lives in that house, you have to answer. The second one is, how long does it take to build it and to pull it down? So students, how long it takes to build it up and pull it down, you have to answer. The third one is, what is the name of the man who lives in the silver house? So students, you have to mention the name of the man. Is he having any name? And if he is having any name, you have to answer. The fourth one is, who is the poet of the poem? So students, who has written this poem and what is his name, you have to answer. The fifth one is, describe the house in the sky. So students, how is the house in the sky? You have to describe it in short. In each of the following line, spot the sound that is used repeatedly. The first one is, there is a silver house in the lovely sky. The second one is, as round as a silver crown. The third one is, it takes 2 weeks to build it up and 2 to pull it down. So students, here in these 3 sentences, which sound is repeated, which sound is used repeatedly, you have to find it out and you have to answer. What do the following words in the poem mean? A. Crown. B. Round. C. Draw. D. Blind. Do these words have other meanings? List them. So students, the following words which are mentioned, what is the meaning in the poem? You have to answer. Also, do these words have any other meaning? You have to answer. For example, crown. So in the poem, the meaning of crown is a silver coin that was used in England in the past. So this was the meaning in the poem. So do this word have any other meaning? And if it is having any other meaning, you have to answer. What is implied in the following phrases or lines? A. A silver house in the lovely sky. B. It takes 2 weeks to build it up. C. And 2 to pull it down. So students, A silver house. So what is the silver house compared to in the poem? You have to answer. B. 2 weeks to build it up. So what do you mean by 2 weeks to build it up? You have to answer. And C. 2 to pull it down. So what do you mean by 2 to pull it down? You have to answer. So what are all these lines compared to, and what do all the 3 lines mean? You have to write down. Thank you.